Good morning. Boy, 7 a.m. Uh, I know most of y'all aren't used to seeing me on here late or early, whatever you want to call it. But I'm going to answer an email I got right quick. Should you marry outside of your path? Well, let's see. Hi, Aiden. Good morning. I just got out of the shower not too long ago, so my hair's still wet. Anyway, should you marry or have a relationship outside of your path? Now, I think this would come down to personal opinion or personal preference. In my opinion, you don't necessarily have to have a person per se that walks your same path. No matter what path they're on, as long as it doesn't interfere with yours. You see what I'm saying? I even know of couples that one is Christian and one is a witch. Don't ask me how that works. I don't know. But that's their business. Now, if the person per se doesn't believe the way you believe, that's fine. That's their right. But that doesn't mean that they have the right to dish yours or disrespect it. If they can walk along beside you and you be on your own path, then so be it. I think it would work out fine. If they're always on you, and eventually, they may even start out like, yeah, that's interesting, or maybe you could, teach me something about it, or what have you, whatever they may say. They act all intrigued by it and blah, blah, blah. Well, they come to a crossroads in their lives and they decide, I want to be a Christian. And the Bible says that you're a witch and I cannot have a relationship with you. So we're going to resolve this relationship. In your shape. Yeah. So, and there you have it. That relationship is blown away. It's dissolved. I don't know. That's a tough one to answer. I mean, you can take your chances, but I would make dang sure if you get into a relationship that person knows exactly what path you're on, what you do, and if they're okay with that, they're okay with that. And eventually along down somewhere, down the road, they may change their mind, which is their right. But then two worlds collide, and that's not a healthy relationship, and probably not something you want to be in. Unfortunately, even as witches, that human side of us, we do feel love, we do feel compassion, all the above. And sometimes it's really hard for us to break loose from a toxic person. Because as we all know, if you're in a relationship and things aren't going good in that relationship, it's almost like it creates such bad energy in such a bad place that you can almost visually see all of the black smoke everywhere y'all are. That's when it becomes very dangerous, because as witches, we greatly rely and depend on our protection. Not only from other human beings, but other entities, energies, forces, whatever you want to call them, to keep us, because as I always say, without our mind being at least functionable to where you can think straight, you can't witch correctly, and you should never, ever, please never, ever let anyone take that away from you. If you decide to leave the path of your own accord, so be it. I feel sorry for you. I had to throw that in. But don't let it be because you picked another human being over your own spiritual path. Hey, Callie. How are you, sweetheart? Now, and I'm not saying those of you, and to the one that emailed me, I'm not saying, okay, well, he doesn't live the way you live and believe the way you believe, so leave him. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is you need to reevaluate. People change, things change. You can be with somebody for 20 years, and this is in a regular relationship. It doesn't even have to be witchy involved or, paths involved. Like I said, I've known several Christian people that were married to people that were atheists, and it works for them, and that's fine. Now you can bet that Christian individual is always trying to convert the other one, but what have you? That's neither here nor there. If it works, it works, and I don't think it really boils down to. What it boils down to is individuality. Okay, even though you become a couple, you're still two separate people. Now, you also have to take into consideration what this other person may think or feel about your actions. And if those actions may harm or be detrimental to your relationship, that's pretty much common sense. It's respect, whatever you want to call it. But that should be the same about the past. If that person can accept you, knowing that you go to that altar and you're lighting your candles and you're doing your things to, make your life better as far as you know how to do it, then that's fine. When it comes to the part to where they're going to try to stray you away from your path or threaten to leave you because of that path or, things like that, then that's where you're going to have to make a huge decision. I'm okay. I'm glad to be back. Well, me too. I'm glad you're back. I don't know why you left, but I'm glad you're back. But yeah, two people, you can be a couple and still have your own individual belief system and all that. Mine, he's on the left-hand path, which I am not. But in some shape, form, or fashion, me being a witch, I'm not going to go into all that. Because then you'll get me off on Satanism and what most people think Satanism is, it is not. If you talk to a true Satanist, it's not what you think. It's not devil worshiping per se. There's a whole different concept behind it. But anyway, that's the path he goes by. But he doesn't ever say anything about, me doing my spells or, whatever. He's used to it. I mean, he's been with me for almost 10 years. But as long as it does not affect your mental health. Now, I'm going to say this directed towards, I don't know how to put this without sounding hypocrite or, I don't even know what word to use, where I'm not bashing anyone. Because I know nowadays in these times, everything is different. We have the the gay men, and of course, usually one of them are feminine, and that's fine. That's not what I'm saying. When I say women, I'm trying to refrain from saying women and just saying the feminine side. We tend to get pushed around a lot. Maybe that comes from the nurturing side of us. We are the birth givers, the mothers, the caretakers. We're supposedly the softer side of the human component, and so we take a lot of crap sometimes. Even from our spouses. That uh, may say or do things that they don't really mean and don't realize how much it bothered us or whatever. Y'all know. Um, Anybody that's ever been in a relationship knows what I'm talking about. But when it comes to uh, the path, I would not trade my path for anyone. I'm sorry. No matter how much I love them, if they told me, well, I'm not gonna have anything to do with you if you keep doing this, I'd say bye. And right then and there, I don't even have to think about it. And it does not have anything to do with how much I love that person and don't want them out of my life. But my path is my life. I am that path. That path is me. We are one. We are a unit. So if they cannot accept me for being a witch, then um, see ya. I'm gonna miss you, but bye. Because my path is far more fulfilling to me and empowering to me than any human man could possibly do for me. There's no way I'd trade it. One day, I don't know how that's ever going to happen, but things do happen. If I ever decide to walk off this path, it'll be of my own accord, not because of what anybody else bullied me or begged me into doing. It will be my decision and my decision only. Got a new phone, so forgot all my passwords. Had to start. Oh, okay. Well, that's okay. But anyway, now this is what I don't like, and I don't like to hear. And I don't know who to be madder at, the male or the female, or whichever one's beating on the other one. I don't like that. Hey, Carla. Um, I don't like to hear that, and that will make me furious. Nobody should put their hands on anybody else like that, especially if you claim that you love them. So if it comes to that, if they're like, well, and things just tend to get worse and worse, then please leave. Leave. And I know, because I've been in that position. I'm not going to tell you my whole life story, but I have been through some crap now when it comes to men. And I still stuck to my path. I didn't blame it on my path. I used my path as a crutch. I knew it would be there. It's exactly where I want to be, and it does not fail me. So, I mean, you can make your own choice if you want to stay there and be miserable, which nobody should have to live their life that way. And this doesn't matter if you're two males in a relationship together, two females, or heterosexual, whatever relationship you're in. If one of them is abusive, don't take that shit. And I know a lot of the reasons that people stay. One of them is they're afraid of being alone. Really? I mean, if you stop and think about that, alone is wonderful. Just think of all the options you have if you're alone. You can do anything you want. You don't have to answer to anyone. You don't have to explain yourself to anyone. You know, um, Just a simple fear of being alone keeps a lot of people. As we're younger, we're not so, how do I put it, needy. Um, we don't necessarily give a whole lot of thought or in depth of thought of a relationship staying forever. The older people might feel different simply because they feel they're in, the latter part of their life and they don't want to die alone. There's a lot of different reasons people stay and put up with people. Maybe it's you've been with them for so long, so many years, and uh, you just don't see any point in ending it. You might as well stick it out. Well, and that's okay because I'm not saying that you're not going to argue, that you're not going to fight. But when it comes down to moral issues or your path or the abuse, mental or physical abuse, it's just as bad. It's just as bad. Yeah. Yeah, me too, Carla. If I leave my path, it's because I died and never put up with being treated like shit. Good job, Callie. Leave me alone because I will never be. Yeah, exactly, Carla. That's what I was saying. I always have my path. My path will not desert me. I may desert it. Doubtful. I never say nothing isn't. I mean, as witches, we can't possibly say that will never happen because we know better. Things could very easily happen. Um, so I try not to say that, but I am pretty dang sure that this is who I am, who I was born as, and who I will be when I die. So um, it is programmed into us. Um, I'm not even going to try to explain how that programming happened, but we do thrive to have a partner, just like any other animal on the face of the earth. They all have mates. Um, Now you've got your ideal situations. My great aunts and uncles, a couple of them were married for 72 years. Can you imagine being with somebody for that long? I mean, the relationship I'm in now is the longest one I've been in my lifetime. And that wasn't straight through. There were breakups in between there. Um, because I'm pretty hardcore. I mean, I have my own belief system and I'm very stubborn headed. And you're not going to sit there and brainwash me into believing or thinking something that it just ain't going to happen. You know, I listen to opinions, sure. Um, I try to discuss things and I try to hear their point of view and I expect them to hear mine also. And that's just common respect. It don't even have anything to do with being on a certain path. Exactly. We have free will, but knowing who you are, nothing. Exactly. Exactly. And those of us, like me, that have been a witch for dang near the whole time we've been on this earth, um, I don't know that we could actually change if we wanted to, if we thought about it, if we tried. You know what I'm saying? Um, I've known a lot of witches that have left the path, wouldn't even speak to me anymore because, I don't know, but they wouldn't even talk to me anymore because I'm still on that path and they didn't want no part of it. Wouldn't even discuss with me why they chose to leave the path, and I mean, because I'd be curious. Of course, I might also be one of those ones that are going, but maybe you didn't give it a chance, maybe, but it's not my job to keep somebody on a path, even as a priestess. That is not my job. I'm not going to tell somebody, no, you cannot leave this coven. If you do, we're all going to put spells on you. No. Everybody has their own free will. Um, you can't possibly be a good witch if you feel like you're being made or, scared into staying on that path. So that would be useless for me, my coven, and well, my duty as a priestess. I just don't see it happening. So just don't take the abuse. And this goes for anybody that may come across this channel. You don't even have to be a witch to take this to heart. Women know. There are so many women out there that are being abused. And I honestly feel like I had to do this video because maybe this was this lady's way of reaching out. Maybe I'm the only one she didn't come out and say she was being abused, but either she is or she knows somebody that is. You can almost bet on it. And I'm extremely glad, that she reached out. Not saying I would have all the answers, but just coming from another female that has, like I said, I've been through some crap with these men in my life. But you just don't. You're going to have to go to your altar. That's what it's for. Go to your goddess. That's what she's for. Tell her you need control of your own self. Your own self. Tell her you don't know what to do. You're confused. Pour it all to her. Yeah, a long time ago. Yeah, I was actually a pretty young witch. I guess I was 25 when I took over the coven, but I just found that wasn't for me. I ran mine a little different than most do. I gave them much more freedom. And I'm not saying it's that way about all covens by no means, but a lot of them are just nosy. They remind me of hen parties. They don't just get around and well, just some of the stuff that goes on there, it reminds me more of Desperate Housewives than a coven should be. So, yeah, Hecate's good at that. She's quite phenomenal. But and you can talk to me, email me. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I might give you a little bit of advice just from what I know and what I've been through. I'm no psychiatrist. I'm no psychologist. I'm only speaking from out and out experience on the matter. And you've got to be strong, and that comes in tune with being a witch. You cannot sit there and possibly cast a spell out into the ethers and make that happen. You're not saying, oh, please do this for me and blah, blah. You're commanding. This is what's going to take place. That is going to happen. You make it happen. See what I mean? See the difference? And it has to be the same way with your own self because your self is the witch. Does that make any sense? You have to be able to look in that mirror and respect yourself. Know that you're taking care of yourself mentally. Physical, yes, too. But if you don't have your mental faculties, then pretty much the rest of it's going to go away too. And not to mention your path. You cannot be a good witch and have a screwed up head. I don't know what I'll say about it. I hope I answered her question. This is why we, do our take our baths and do our smudging and Because it's really easy for negative energy to get on you and you don't even know it's there. Yeah. And I hate it, Carla. You guys, it just makes me sick. It makes me very sad, especially when another witch approaches me and says, hey, this is happening. But then I have to stop and think, okay, what all did you put up with because of whatever reason? It makes me look back on my life going, why in the world did you deal with that? You didn't have to. It's not on your path. It's not in your book to be written. Why put up with it? Yes. Yeah, I knew that, Callie. And I think I said this in one of my other videos. Well, you think back in the 16th century, the older women, of course, some people will say um, that they would use sage to for the smell. Well, honestly, I don't know very many witches that like the smell of sage. I am one of those that do not. It's just I don't care for the smell. Um, but I mean, if it smelled good, then how's it gonna attract or detour unwanted energies? But anyway, um, they or I've also heard that they use it as a insect repellent. Um, all kinds of things that we don't know why they did things, but it was usually meant for the times. The medicines they used. Well, there wasn't such a thing as the Walmart pharmacy. You couldn't just go to the doctor, him call you in a script, and poof, it's already made and delved out for you, and you just go pick it up and buy it. They had to make their own stuff. Oh, about yeah, and it's true. But what's weird about it is, plumb over here in Europe, you've got witches using sage, or per se witches. France, Norway, did all the difference, and then you have the United States with the Native Americans using the same thing. Okay, isn't it pretty astounding that there's this huge ocean between in oceans between these countries, but yet they all somehow knew to use sage? There's no way they could have conversed with each other. They couldn't have just gotten their boat and went over to so and so's house and said, "Hey, do you find this um, white sage does better than the meadow sage or blah blah blah?" They didn't have that. They couldn't do that. My husband's first response when I mentioned witchcraft was, "You're not going to turn wicked." Exactly. I'm going to be any damn thing I want to be. Yep. Carly, you're so funny. I swear we're so much alike you wouldn't believe it. Um, my second husband used to think it was funny. I mean, I think before we actually got divorced, that he was starting to really believe, hey, she's serious about this stuff. Finally, after all that time, he realized that, yes, I'm a witch. And he started asking questions instead of, he never really made fun of me. He just kind of would nitpick here and there, or, throw a little snide comment in somewhere, and that it went from there. But yeah. But yeah, there's a lot. There is so much that that, like I said, we're separated by oceans that yet everybody knew. So it has to be something that's born into us. Has to be in there when we're born, and we're the ones that have to reach in and grab it. That's why I say anybody could be a witch. Some other witches will tell you wrong. Some people say it has to be inherited. Some people say, that you have to be taught. I was never taught. He leaves you. I bet he does, Carla. You're not out there buying them penis candles, are you? Just tell him next time if he ever starts in on you, say, don't make me go buy a penis candle. Oh, that's funny. YouTube can't get me for that because it's an anatomy word. It's used in our field every day. But I think it's really interesting, how much. And some of the older women that were accused of being witches were not really what you would call witches, not like us. I would call them the early pharmacists. Experimenters, lab technicians, whatever. They'd put this and that together, see if it worked. Now there's a whole humongous, field of it. Not yet. So, who's to say they weren't the first pharmacists, first doctors? The women with ancient knowledge at one time were very highly praised. The kings had them by their sides. There was always the wise woman, as they called her in a village, that people would go to. If they had a mosquito bite, it's like, oh, make it quit itching. Well, nowadays, that's really simple to us. We go to Walmart or wherever and buy some of that camphor or something to put on it to make it stop itching. Some kind of antihistamine. He's putting on me. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, there's a long story behind that one. Why I stopped that group. And it's not a very nice one, so I just won't repeat it. But anyway, yeah. They just came up with new ways and what they had on hand. Everybody experiments, but then to the people that didn't know anything about it, oh, that's magic. She just created that. Well, everybody also knows nowadays that if you put sulfur and what have you, I'm not going to sit here and give a chemistry lesson because somebody might be watching me that decides to put all these together and make a bomb. And I am not going to be responsible for that. But say sulfur and some other chemicals, you put them together and they will ignite. It will light fire. Maybe one of the witches did that, and all they seen was her drop the sulfur into, just seen her hand open. When in reality, she probably had that sulfur in her hand when she dropped it in the fire. It just went poof, and made that magical poof of fire and smoke that we've all come to also associate with witchcraft. And all it was a chemical reaction, that sulfur in that fire, and whatever else was in there with the sulfur. But back then they didn't have any way of knowing that. It was all new to them, Mankind, was still pretty primitive. So then they started with this Christian thing, and we all know what happened after that. All them women that, instead of saying, oh, they know this and that, they must be women of God or, men of God. They went the opposite direction. Well, God wouldn't teach somebody that. That had to come from the devil, so let's kill them. I swear YouTube does that to my comments. Well, we're not grammar checking on here, so As long as I can understand what you're saying, it doesn't bother me. But seriously, um, please don't, male or female, and there's women out there that abuse men too. Now, not as common as, the other way around, but nobody should have to take abuse for any reason. Um, what you're first going to have to figure out is why you are staying. And I guarantee you, if you start little steps, figure that out, and say, well, okay, if I wanted to change this, what would I do? At least give yourself options. At least keep your own mind. I've known poor women that were just so brainwashed that when I've had discussions with them, I literally just stood in awe, jaw open, everything, like, really, you just said that, you know? And there's nothing you can say to them, nothing you can tell them all day long what to do or what they might could do, and it's up to them to decide different. No, abuse is never okay in any shape, form, or fashion between anyone. I'm kind of I'm really weird now that I guess a lot of things come with age, because I'm pretty much at a zero tolerance level when it comes to certain things. I don't let anybody talk down to me. I'll be the first to snap right back, and I don't care who they are, male, female, 7 foot tall, 300 pounds. I'm still going to tell them what I think about them. I think what bothers us the most is when it's coming from people that supposedly love you, somebody that has stepped into that role of being your best friend, your partner in life, and your path, the one that walks your path with you. Not necessarily our path, but picture yourself, two people walking down a path, trying to create the scenario there. But I think what hurts the most is when something hateful or hurtful comes out of their mouth towards you. Because I know me, and a person on the street could say some things to me, and it's not going to phase me. I'm probably going to laugh and go, okay, whatever, have a good day. But when it's somebody that you love and they say something derogatory about you or to you, um, it tends to hit home more, doesn't it? I mean, you just can't believe that person would purposely hurt your feelings like that. And it's even worse when it's supposed to be your partner in life, and it should never happen. But you also have to look at the individuals that are the abusers. Research has definitely found, and it don't take Einstein to figure it out, these people are needy too. They have a need to be in control, to have something to control, because they honestly cannot control themselves. It's a roundabout way of controlling everything and everyone around them but themselves. What I hate the most, he didn't mean to. Yeah, yeah, yep. He didn't mean to hurt me. Yes, he did. I can guarantee you he meant to hurt you. Or they'll come up to him later and say that. I'm so sorry, honey. Well, there's that side of you that's prevailing at the moment going, well, he knows he messed up and he's sorry about it, and I need to forgive him. And then it keeps happening and keeps happening. It's just awful. Yeah. Cool, Callie. Well, I'm not busy right now here in a few. a little bit, in about 15 minutes, I guess. I got to go. And speaking of men, I got to go pick mine up from work. But, and I'm not preaching to people, and I'm not trying to cut people down, because I have been there. Um, I have been there. And me being human also, and having those same exact feelings that you do, analyzing myself, I've come to the conclusion that that is a basis that everybody pretty much feels like, and sometimes it can lead to long-term damage. Some of these women just lose all of their own belief system in themselves and anything or anyone around them. They become very untrusting, and it's understandable. Um, or they go the opposite direction and dive right back in head first in with somebody else that is just like the person that they left. And there you go again. Right, Carla. Yeah, yeah, what a miserable life, that is just, and that these women become extremely afraid of these men, and eventually the abuse gets worse and worse and worse. Once I mean, it's kind of like roping a cow. Leave it to this old cowgirl. Um, yeah, it's one thing to get the lasso ready. You got to make sure that sucker will pull right. You get it up there, you spin it, you find your target, you throw, it gets, okay, you've got that noose around their neck. And you tighten it, and the more they pull away, the tighter it gets. And that's how they snag you. You don't even realize they're doing it until it's too late. I think I left a Facebook message on a messenger, but no, I'm not sure if I messaged the right person. I never got one from you, Callie. Because I usually I will always answer you back. It may not be right away, but I will always answer. Decided to get clean and get counseling after. Isn't that funny how that happens, Carla? And I swear it's just because it was meant to be that way. That's the only conclusion I can come up with. Even though, the relationship was probably very strenuous on you, and the leaving, I'm sure, wasn't easy. No breakup ever is under any circumstances. And all of a sudden, you look back at them, and now they don't drink anymore. Now they're sober and no drugs, and with this one girl that they never cheat on. And I guess what? So we're sitting there going, okay, so I guess we were the ones to teach them a lesson. Yes, I did, Carla. You accepted. You're on there. I guess that was you. Yeah, you're on my Facebook friend list. Wish my hair had hurt, girl. But it's just, as with anything that happens in life, we kind of fumble around here, don't we? We're not sure of anything. He's still an asshole, but he's clean. He's a clean asshole. Well, I tell you, both my ex-husbands are not on this earth anymore. Hick one, hello, but I can't understand anything you're saying. Never dang brain. Mine's the same way here lately, Carl. I swear. Honestly, I can't hardly remember nothing anymore. I guess it's my age. Well, and I'm sure that heart attack didn't help anything either. But yeah, I mean, as women, we have got to stand for ourselves, and as men too. The men that step into the female roles. I hate saying gay. Hate saying gay men. Um, I don't know. Anyway, y'all know what I'm saying. The males that have the feminine side in the male relationship, it's the same thing. Because I mean, it happens, and I just don't. I don't need that kind of love, you know. And as I get older, um, I always say, yeah, it's wonderful to have somebody there with you, that you can talk to, watch movies with, go out to dinner with. Um, some of us, as we get older, honestly just don't even care about sex anymore. I know I heard all the gasps. Everybody just gasped. But it's true that as you get older, just does not become a priority anymore. And it never really was with me. I mean, I've just never been one of them type of people. Um, I can definitely live without it. Um, but it's just a camaraderie, I think. Well, you can find that in your girlfriends and your best friend. There's you somebody to go to lunch with. There's somebody to go to watch that movie with. Now, the ones that are still in need of the human contact, as I will put it nicely. Well, you know, it you're a female. All you have to do is present yourself out there, and somebody's gonna take you up on your offer. If that's all you want, go out and get it. Doesn't mean they have to move in with you. Let them serve their purpose and go away. I'm really just kidding on that part when I said all that, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. I just tried to be funny. Um, I don't know. I don't have it figured out. Um, honestly, there's a lot of things that and relationships that I wish I had never done in my life. You know. Can you add me on Facebook? Yeah, I'll send you a. Now, my name isn't Lady Adara on Facebook. I guess you know that, right? It'll say Tamala Baldwin, but it'll have my picture that you see here on my YouTube channel. No, it don't. I changed it. It's got a picture of a young girl. She's kind of got reddish hair. Anyway, you'll see it. Oh, with my dog. Yeah, that's me with my cats. They sleep with me. They're pretty good snuggle bunnies. Okay, Callele. Callc. I don't see very good, Callie. I'm sorry. Kaylee. Kaylee. I see the I now. Callh. Where are you from, Kaylee? I guess I'm pronouncing your name right. Mac. Oh, God. URCHTH. Okay. Make sure I got that spelling right. L-A-C-H. Mac. Marcod. Okay. But yeah, women need to have more respect for themselves. I think that's a lot of it. Some of these relationships just their partner destroys their inhibitions, their the moral code. May be demeaning their looks. Just really breaks that person down to a point to where they they start believing them. They start thinking, well, maybe I am ugly and that's why this ain't happening, or I'm too fat, and or I'm too skinny, or um, whatever they may be telling you. You're going to have to learn to be more secure within yourself and protect yourself. I mean, if somebody was talking shit to your best friend, being hateful to her, or one of your kids, God us forbid, would you not stand up for them? Yes, you would. You'd say, hey, cut that out. Don't talk to them that way. Well, you need to do the same thing for yourself. Say, no, you are not going to talk to me that way. Most of the people that pretty much know me in my personal life, they know that I'm a very giving person. I'll give you the shirt off my back. I truly would. I would bring you in my home. I'd give you a place to live, feed you, help you in any way I could. But if you piss me off or abuse my kindness, then I turn into somebody you don't ever want to know. It's like, how dare you, and I look at men completely different now than I did when I was younger. I just simply, I can do with or without them. There comes a time in your life in so many failed relationships that you start thinking, wow, there just ain't nobody out there for me. Can't know how. Okay, yeah, now I remember. Yeah, I remember. I talked to a lot of people, sweetheart. But I remember you saying about Ohio now. Plus, my brain ain't as good as it used to be. So, those who follow me and have for a long time know that I'm a little crazy sometimes. But it is what it is. It happens with age, I guess. Either that or we no longer store useless information. I don't know. That's what I like to say. They'll say, you didn't remember that? Nope, I don't. I no longer store useless information. Oklahoma, somebody not getting kicked in the ass. Oh yeah, I've done that several times, Carla. Oh, I mean, I really put myself out there in a bad spot, and I didn't realize how bad it was. A little bit crazy. Yeah, I think we are, Kelly. I like it though. I really do. I like me. I like my path, and I mean, there's things I'd still like to change. I don't think anybody ever says, yeah, they're perfectly happy with every single thing in their life and in themselves or their looks or whatever. They just, I think a lot of it is just acceptance. It's like, well, there's nothing I can do about it. If there's something you can do about it, do it. If there's not, then learn ways to accept it. I mean, what else are you going to do? I mean, you can't go around life if you have a weight problem thinking that you're awful and nobody's ever going to love you because you're fat, or the color of your skin, or what nationality you are. When it all comes down to it, we're all still human beings. And I don't care. I judge each individual by their individual self, not what color they are, not what um, denomination they are, not what path they're on, not anything but what they put out to me. Carla. Callie Carla's, she's hilarious. I love her to death. I can come on here and I can be in an extremely awful mood, and when she gets on here with me, she makes me laugh every time. I tend to be a very serious person. I've always been that way. Everything I do serious. If I dive into something, it's serious. So sometimes I will just drive myself crazy with things. So. But yeah, don't. And like I said, you can email me at my email is once again thecrone51@gmail.com. The Crone, THECRONE 51@gmail.com. And I'll I'll at least listen. I may not have all the answers, but I'll listen. I live to serve. Carla, I have got to meet you in person one day. Can you imagine the crack ups we would have? That would be so fun. My fiance loves my fierceness. Yeah, a lot of men do. I mean, I'm not saying all men are mad by no means. I hope I didn't give off that vibe. There are some very good, kind, and sweet men out there. I just haven't found one of them. One has not crossed my path, and if they have, I've gotten rid of them, I'm sure. But yeah, I guess I better go. Yeah, we would, Carla. Your fiance is a woman? Okay, that's fine. I don't care. As long as one of y'all ain't beating on the other one, I don't care. To each their own. Everybody has their own life to live, and live it how they choose to, whatever makes them happy. I think I'm going to have to take a trip this afternoon, about a 3.5 hour drive. I used to love to drive, and I don't like it anymore. I was supposed to have been there this morning. Had a really important class that I needed to get to, but I could not sleep yesterday, and I wasn't about to make that drive and possibly fall asleep at the wheel, and or even if I didn't, and get there and sit through an 8 hour class. So I may still go down there this afternoon. I don't know what I'm doing half the time. Just love you, hugs, and yourself. Okay. You too, Callie, and I will send you a friend request on Facebook. Okay. I'm so glad y'all got on here to talk to me. It just started off my day perfectly. Love you, Carla. Love you, Callie. Y'all take care. Blessed be.